Welcome back, my darlings, to an amazing interview with Sensory Retreats Claire. This lady's not only my friend, but I'm also so delighted to share with you her story. I've never known anyone experience manifestation spirit and utilize it and bring so much powerful energy to the world and to her life in the way that this lady does. She really is magic on legs. After losing tragically her brother in the most horrific circumstances, that has been the catalyst that has driven her forward to create this life. Now she appreciates life in so many different ways, and during this episode you're going to feel every moment of her magic. This episode lifted me up, I loved interviewing her, and I think you're going to really take a lot from this. Enjoy. Hello, my darling. Hello. Claire, I've got you on my podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
It's lovely to be here.
It's just amazing. Now, for the listeners here, I feel like I have to kind of explain how we met before we get into all the juiciness here that we're going to uncover and all the value that's going to come through. But if you remember, I don't know, well, you will remember this, but you had a party and events and you were asking for different people to come along to host and do different things at the event. And I had an agent at the time, this is pre-COVID, when I had plans to be a big medium out there in the world and be seen on camera, etc. And she sent me to your party and said, would you like to go? And I said, oh yeah, I'd love to. I'd go and read for people and be a guest and just be there giving value and readings. And so I was like, yeah, no problem. And she said, I really would like you to speak to the organizer first and just get to know her and just check that you're an energetic match. And we spoke for, can you remember that phone call?
Yeah, I do, literally. It was hours. It was just instant, wasn't it? Within seconds. It was
mad.
And
we were just like, there was things I told you in that phone call and I'd never even seen your face that I hadn't even told my closest friends.
Yeah. Same.
Was it the same for you?
Yeah. It was very instant. It just felt so, you felt so natural. I needed you. I was manifesting someone like you that I needed in my life and I needed at my event, but I felt it was probably someone I needed in my life more than the event. But the event was my 10th birthday for Share Beauty Secrets, which was my first company I launched. And it was a big celebration and we were raising money for Mind Charity. And we had so much going on. And we'd hired Café de Paris, which was this huge club. And we'd invited press and celebs and our clients and all our big spas and salons. And I was like, I've got to impress them. Like, I've got all these people come in. I've got to bring something to the table that they're going to walk away going, wow. And spoke to Emma and she recommended you.
Yeah. And so obviously you can imagine, like back then, I think I'd only been in business a few months, not even that long.
Really? I didn't even know.
Obviously a medium for a long time, but only just been in business publicly a few months. And then next thing you know, I'm being photographed by the paparazzi. The paparazzi were outside. Yeah. I went to London. It was like I was totally a rabbit in the headlights. And they took my photo and I thought, why would they even take my photo? I'm just walking in.
Yeah.
But I must have been like wanting it. I must have wanted it and given off that energy of take my photo. Anyway, I loved it. I had a great experience, enjoyed it. And then I remember seeing you and you had on a long red dress. Do you remember your dress?
Right. Yeah.
And I saw you and I was like, oh, lady in red. And you come towards me. We're like little and large when we're together. You're so tall and I'm so small. And we just gave each other a big hug and it was just instant connection.
Yeah.
And that party was like, I loved the standard. I thought, this lady's got standards. This lady knows where she's going. She's definitely in this for the long haul.
Yeah. It was always about giving back. I always find that in life and my journey, as with all the things we do, all the hard work, all the events, everything we've done to even get to year 10, it was like, this is a celebration. You know, this is our 10th birthday. And then by giving it back and inviting people in the bubble, then it just allows it to keep growing because you're bringing, again, I always believe I only bring in good energy now. I think over my years, maybe not, but in the last 20 years at least, it's always been that, you know, I'll only let the good energy through. Yeah. And you just know when you know, you have a feeling.
It's like an instant connection, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you because you're so spiritual. Like you're so spiritual. And I think what I love about it is that you just accept it. Whereas I think a lot of people question spirituality and question why they have these things and why they have to manifest. And you almost have to research the magic before they believe in it. But for you, unless it's magical, unless there's a story, unless there's a big manifestation with it, you're not interested.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
magic is gone for you. So
Yeah.
you're almost the opposite.
Mm.
And I think that's why you've had such success with all your businesses.
Yeah.
And can we talk on that a little bit? Because I
Yeah.
want people to understand who they're actually listening to
Yeah.
here. So I know it can be a little bit difficult to blow your own trumpet, but can you just give us an idea of the success you've had?
Yeah, so I launched my business, Share Beauty Secrets, in 2009 in the recession. I'd always worked with very big companies. I've been in beauty for forever, since I was sort of 15, 16, went to beauty college and worked with all the big brands. I've worked on cruise ships, worked in big department stores like Harrods, worked on with brands like Declior and Clarins, and just like kind of worked my way through the beauty industry. But I always had this passion that like one day I needed something of my own. I loved making money for other people. I love the feeling of success. I like the feeling of kind of, I guess, coming from nothing, not coming from, didn't have great qualifications through school, but I always had that drive of wanting to do well and make people feel good. It was always about, because I started as a beauty therapist, so it's always, ultimately, you've got to make someone feel good. And then we discovered the product called Lava Shells when I was on holiday in Turks and Caicos, and that was the moment. I just thought, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. It's something completely different. It was an alternative to hot stones, which was very, very big in the beauty industry, and we launched it with a £10,000 bank loan. That's all I had at the time. And we had to go out big, so I had to go out believing this was a product that was going to, you know, change my life, change the way people saw heated massage tools, because we use self-heating inserts, which means they're hygienic. You didn't need a big cabbie. It was very easy and very effective, and the heat we know is brilliant for relaxing, wellness. You know, everything to do with massage. If you add heat, it's incredible. So I knew I was on something, but I also knew I'm a small fish in a very, very, very big industry. And how do you shout loud when you haven't got thousands of pounds and all the other things? So I had to kind of, I guess, start by weaving my way and weaving my magic and believing, and trying to think about what's going to impress someone and how am I going to get to where I need to be, but without having loads of money. And my first objective was getting on Necker Island. So I had in my head, I need to visit Necker Island. I need to shake Richard Branson's hand, and I need Lava Shells to be that needs to be my first account. I was just got it in my mind, and because of that, I had to think, how do I get to Necker Island?
Just stop there for a minute. Why Necker Island? Where did that even? Because people don't think that big.
No, I guess I love achieving what I believe is unachievable. That's my biggest excitement in life, is you saying to me, you'll never be able to, you know, you shouldn't be able to meet that person or do that, or just, I love that feeling of going, okay, I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to do it. I'll find a way. And I'd been reading Richard Branson's book, in Turks and Caicos, Losing My Virginity. I was very inspired by his story. I'm dyslexic, so I've kind of, there was sort of, I was connecting to things he was saying in his book, obviously from very different backgrounds, but I just felt, you know what, sometimes you just got to put yourself out there and see what you can get. So I think I had in my head, I had to meet him. That was my kind of thing. I needed just to shake his hand and say, your book gave me the courage to set my own business up. And I walked away from a really, really, you know, good job, and literally went, well, that's it now. I'm going to have to completely scale back. We're not going to have any money coming in for at least 2 years. You know, like how, you know, what shall I do? How do I do it? And again, by complete fate, luck, but, you know, manifestation, someone came into my life just by coincidence and said, oh, I work on Necker Island. And I was like, do you? Okay, I need to talk to you about
manifestation would have it.
Yeah, exactly. And they ran the spa on Necker, or they were overviewing the kind of spas from England, and there was spa therapists on the island. And that was it. We just, you know, I showed them the shell. I said, this is going to be a great product. And next thing I know, within, I think, a month and a half of discovering Lava Shells, I'd literally set the business up within a week, got the name, kind of, I was just trying to just make it all happen quite quickly. And then I was on Necker Island, and it was then I had a moment looking out over the sea, just, you know, this is special. Something's happening to me for a reason. And I don't know, it's not about me, but it's about something I'm able to give other people in some form. So that's kind of where the journey began. There's a lot of backstory to why that was so important, and the dates were important, and it was a very emotional level as well. But that was where I guess I started to believe in the power of manifestation, people, the universe, the kind of the magic really, really started then. And then I just kept setting myself goals. I want to achieve this, or I want to meet this person. And we just worked really, really hard. I mean, I really worked hard. When I look back, it was ridiculous hours. I'd be working till silly hours in the morning, and then I'd wake up in the night and I would start again. And it was such hard graft early on, because everything was like, we have to achieve, but without, again, a big pot of money. So you have to think, how do you do that in today's world? Even then, social media wasn't such a big thing then as well. So from that point, this incredible things happen. We got featured on The Apprentice as a task. We met the Dragons through another connection and got to watch them filming backstage Dragon's Den. Even though we weren't on the den, we got to witness what that looked like. Just so many things kept happening, and people and spas. And then we got into like all the big spa groups. So our product started to sort of roll out. Well, we're in over 2,000 spas and salons now. So it was just word of mouth, reputation. People liked what we gave them. They liked the feeling of the lava shell. We do all the training. We had really high standards. It was very much, we want to make you feel good as a therapist giving the treatment, and give you a good treatment to do. And we want the client to be happy, and then you're happy. And it's just kind of, then it just ticks. Everyone's happy. And then along the way, I won Great British Entrepreneur of the Year award a few years back. And we've done things that I forget we've done. Like, I forget to even tell people sometimes that we're doing stuff or we've done things, because I just kind of it just happens. We just go through life and then go, oh, that was pretty good. So I should just sit back and appreciate that. But so focused on kind of, I guess, surviving, as a business, and keeping what you're doing fresh. And it's been I'd say a long journey, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, and there's been days where, we've worked so hard and then something's happened and suddenly you think, oh, am I going to get through next month? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to the end of the month. But the thing I'm most proud about is that we have never, ever got to a point where we've not paid a bill or we've not paid someone. We've always kind of grown, but done it slowly. So we haven't had the pop like some people, I would say, have. It's been a long journey, but it's been an amazing journey. And it's with all the people we've met along the way, like yourself and many other people that have kind of pushed us up that hill and gone, we're with you. And it's a strange feeling to think how my life is now with the business, where it's very settled. We've got a nice, strong business model. We've been OK Magazine featured me for, or Women Founder. I got a double page spread, like amazing stuff. When I look and go, how am I next to all these incredible women founders? How have I been picked for this? But someone else is seeing something that maybe don't see day to day, but other people do see. And I think it's those moments that then lead you to your next conversation or the next person you meet. And it's all of those things that I think allow the business to be kind of what it is, which is much more than lava shells now. Obviously, it's got the sensory retreats and sensory sleep and Elfland and all the fun stuff. So I guess
we're going to come
the
to
journey
all of
is,
that.
it's the journey's allowed me to then be creative with the fun stuff that's more heartfelt and passionate, as well as kind of wellness. So
so I feel that, and I feel that you've built the base and then you've built the fun on top.
Yes.
But there's always something that I've always noticed in you since the first time I met you, and that if you had the big pot and if you had that unlimited budget, I don't think you would have enjoyed it half as much.
No, you're right.
Because Claire is all about the journey and all about experiences.
Yeah.
And for example, you recently had a milestone birthday.
Yes.
And she's always about, like, I don't know whether your husband told you, I spoke to him secretly about doing a little something for you.
Yeah, he did in the end.
He did tell you.
He did in the end, yeah.
I'll tell you more about that when we talk after.
Yeah.
But basically, I was like, I can't get you a gift. You would love it, yes. And you'd be very gracious and very kind. But you're all about the experience.
Yeah.
That's what you always want,
Yeah.
is what can I do to have fun and memory?
Yeah.
And so it's the same in everything you do with your family, with
Yeah.
your business, with the moves you make. It's like, how can it be a memory?
Yeah.
And so the more magical, the more creative, that's your legacy, and that's
Yeah.
your passion, that's your drive. And anything else that comes along is a bonus
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
interim,
Yeah.
which I love. But I do want to, because like what you've just described there is really quite amazing. And for you, it's normal. And you are a very ordinary person. This is why you're probably thinking, well, yeah, I can talk about all this, but it's not really that big a deal, that type
Yeah.
of energy, because you are very ordinary.
Mm.
But everybody is.
Yeah.
Everyone's ordinary. And all the
Yeah.
people we've met along the way, we've both met and worked with amazing individuals
Yeah.
and high profile ones that they're very ordinary.
Yes, you're right.
They're
Yeah.
very ordinary people. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
Yet they've got something extraordinary about them, whether it's their purpose, whether it's their day-to-day actions, whether it's their legacy. There's something extraordinary about
Yeah.
them, and that definitely comes through with you.
Yeah.
So you're very ordinary, but you're also extraordinary. Like the things that
Sweet.
you do
Yeah.
is just amazing.
Oh.
Like every time I hear from you, I'm like, of course you did.
Yeah.
Of course you did. And you're like, can you believe it? I'm like, yeah, because it's you.
Oh.
So yeah, I can believe
I think
it.
it's normally me that's in more shock, because I often say that to my husband. I'm like, can you believe this just happened? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't. And he's
Yeah.
like, but why not? Because that's what happens. You put it out there and it just,
Yeah.
it happens, you know. But
I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
I'm literally
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'd be shocked if it wasn't successful.
yeah.
Like if you've got a determination, your spark's there,
Mm.
you make it work.
Yeah.
But having said all that, how that takes inspiration.
Yeah.
So that's more than life experience. That's
Yeah.
more than just going and enjoying a moment in time.
Mm.
It goes deeper than that. So we're going to come to something that I know is quite deep for you now. And I know it's very sensitive, but I do have your permission to share.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about how you felt so inspired. Where did all of this, like, zest for life, enjoy the moment, like,
Yeah.
honor those moments come from?
So, I've got brothers and sisters, and I had a brother called Rory. At 19, died, and that floored me. That completely floored my life.
Can I just ask how old you were at the time?
Just 29, 20,
Right, so you're a
28,
baby.
29. Yeah, I was young. Well, I'd say young, but you know. But for me, it was the shock. It was unexpected. It's the sadness of not being able to have helped, or
Yeah.
kind
Oh, I'm sorry.
of.
It's
I've gone
okay.
now.
Take a moment. Take a moment. Just take a moment. Take
Okay.
a breather.
So, so you can
okay.
see the pain. It doesn't go.
Yeah.
But for me, losing Rory made me look at my life as it was at the time and realise I needed to do more, and I needed better.
Yeah.
And I needed to be, I think before I hit 30, life was very different. I was always driven. I always had lots of goals. I had lots of
Yeah.
things I wanted to do, but it just wasn't as lucky. It wasn't as filled with love and as
Yeah.
many people that maybe are in my life now. And when he died, it took me a long time to kind of process and heal, because in what I thought was my superpower
Yeah.
was being able to read people. I could walk in a room and I could instantly tell if someone didn't warm to me, or if something was happening. I feel like that was my, whether the sensitivity of my personality, I just always felt I knew I could read things, I suppose. So the fact that he took his own life and I had no idea he was struggling, and none of us did, is I think what's the hard bit to process. But that's what happened, and then I had to then find a way to heal from that. So my way to heal was to think, what can I do in Rory's memory? What can I do that would drive me to do things that he'd be proud of, or that he would have done, or that would make him laugh, because he was such a funny, happy personality. He was the light and soul of a party. He'd walk in the room and he was just like, there's nothing but fond energy, that I would say, that when I think back. But obviously he was troubled in his own way.
Yeah.
And and it's weird because after he passed, I did quite a lot of life changes in my own personal life, and I then met my husband that I'm still with today, who was my, Rory, please send me someone. I need someone just to save me at that point. So that's when I think I started to try and, in my own way, communicate and say, I just need some help and some guidance, and I need a good egg. I need someone to come into my life and help me because I'm really struggling. And then Chris came along, who is the nicest person in the world, as you know.
Yeah.
And then I started to try and see things more positively. And he's very much, you can do it, just go and do it. You've got the world at your feet, just achieve. So where I suppose I'd always been quite shy and insecure, maybe growing up, and not had that inner confidence in myself, I was trying to sort of process grief, process strength, and think, how do I combine them? And I needed a belief.
Yeah.
So and then I had a dream about Rory, and we were in a house, and he just appeared, and he just put his arm around Chris, and it's all that happened in this dream. And it was before I married Chris. I'd only known him a little while. We just started to see each other, and it was like it cemented to me that it was the one. It was like he was saying, it's fine,
He's good.
you're
He's
okay.
Good. We like him. Yeah.
And then I just still remember that again, within this dream, he then went up to a top bedroom and just waved and turned the light off. And it was like he was giving me permission to let him go and try and focus more on what life now looks like, I guess, without the sadness and the guilt's the wrong word, but it's like you feel that anyone that's been through such a trauma, there's always such a range of emotions that you're feeling of like, well, what could I've done? Why didn't I know? Could I have changed anything? What if I'd, all these what's all in your mind constantly. So I tried to repurpose my focus and energy to think what would make, what would make Rory proud. So I set my business Share Beauty Secrets up on his birthday. So that was how I started it. So then when it was his 10th birthday, my 10th birthday, it was, every birthday's a memory, but it was a special one. And I remember by then we've had like Sienna, and I've got a child, and I now my focus then was that, well, I've got to think of giving Sienna the best life and trying to do memories for her and make everything as magic. Like with real life, real life's not easy. We all have ups and downs, so it's not all flowers and rainbows in the house, but it's trying to create happiness around trauma that kind of puts you on a different path, I guess. My kind of energy shifted. So that's really the main Rory, please, I don't know, I need this to happen, or I need to meet this person, or if only I just knew someone, or if only I could just meet a clairvoyant that could give me a bit of hope while I'm feeling sad on my 10th birthday, and then they appear like yourself. It's all very it's very energy led, and the people that then generally appear, I know and a lot of the time I think they walk in, not always for me, sometimes I'm for them, because I love giving.
Yeah.
So if I can help someone else's journey, I actually get more rewards from that than probably my own journey, because I love seeing
been a witness
changes.
to that. Yeah.
I love it. I love that. It warms my heart, just helping others and knowing that just something small I might have done, an introduction or an opportunity, and I watch their life soar, and I think, wow, like if I hadn't met them, I wouldn't have been able to like weave that magic into their life. At that point it may have happened to them anyway, but I might have just been a connector. So that's kind of how I see myself a lot now. But it's the little, I guess, the constant things that have happened on the journey where I've thought of something, and then there's a feather or a rainbow or a number. As you know, I'm obsessed with 1111. All these things that keep happening, and then as they happen, and then something else appears that was like, oh wow, I absolutely needed to meet you, or we were desperate to have this opportunity, and thank you for coming along and helping us. So it's all, I always believe things do happen for a reason, and like I say, there's so many. If I looked at all the sad things and all the trauma that I've also had in my life, there's a lot, but I try and not feel too sad about the downs and the bad things, outside of obviously losing Rory, the other things that may have happened, and think, you know what, that maybe had to happen to make me stronger, or had to happen to push me in a different direction. And as long as I'm doing good and I'm making someone feel good, or I'm making myself feel good, or I'm kind of trying to achieve something that's got heart and intention, then it's got to be the right decision.
So his passing not only was the biggest shock, it was also the biggest accelerator for you.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
And it was almost as if God, I feel emotional for you. It's almost as if you wanted his memory to have some sort of, his life to have more meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. He was too young, and you can't change what's happened, but you just think, if I can put something in the universe that is the power of, just having that kind of hope and belief, because I think sometimes people lose hope and they lose belief in everyday life. They don't have to lose someone to feel that. They might just feel it. So I kind of try and go with the mentality of, what can I do that will keep his memory alive, which, as you know, led me to write a book with Magical Story. It wasn't a sad book. It's all about, Imars and Elfland and him being a star in the sky and making the wishes of children come true. And all of the connections, I guess, without me realising, lots of things I do just weave in and connect automatically. And I don't realise that all part of the journey was that, I was meant to have done that to then lead me to this, to lead me to that. It's all very connected.
So it's like he had, because when you talk about him, you give so much life to his energy. Like when you say Rory, it's like you get a burst of energy when you say his name.
Yeah.
And it's like everything you do represents a burst of energy.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're taking his imprint that he filled the room and filling it in so many different avenues and so many different ways. And I think that is just incredible. And like, it's so, I always think you don't need tragedy to be successful in life. You don't. But there's something about a life experience that is hard and difficult and challenging that gives you an acceleration at times.
Yeah.
And it helps you search that meaning. And so you've had so many successes and you've witnessed so many different people have success around you. And I always think to have the true success where it's not just the monetary form, it's not just the experiences, but it's that internal peace that you feel, which I feel you've had recently. I think that's been a recent thing for you the past couple of years, that real calm and inner peace, and I've really felt it in you. But to have that, it's got to be almost something from purpose. You've got to create from purpose, because the flashy things and the great experiences and the money, it all not loses its sparkle, but it just becomes normal. And so it's that inner peace that stays with you. 100%. That's the real value.
It is. And being contentment, honestly, it took a long time. And I don't know why. I don't know, maybe the drive, the purpose has always been there. And not wanting to fail and wanting to support others, and knowing I had, a family. Everyone's got their part to play in their, in the house. But there is something about feeling that I no longer have to prove anything to anyone. And mine is never financial. It's not, the financial success isn't the big story for me. It never has been, which I'm sure there's many, many, many people that are far, far more successful financially than I've been or I will ever be. But it's day to day. If I can wake up and, take Sienna to school and do some work and then walk the dogs and then, create something magical at work maybe, and, be a good mum and a good friend and good, every good wife and everything that comes with that, then I feel I now have peace, because it's not the inner kind of constant I've let that go and gone, actually I was the girl at school that was shy, that was dyslexic, that kind of wasn't even really talked about back then, I guess. I struggle in big groups. I'm not very confident in big crowds. I'm quite good one-on-one, but you put me out my comfort zone and I will go inward. There's so many things, but in this job I've had and the life I've had to do, I have to be someone else and find that strength, I guess. And And I guess with that, then you've got, you look around, well, that company's doing this and that person's achieved that. And oh God, I'm still here. And then you realize it doesn't matter where you are. It literally does not matter where you are in life, because where you're meant to be is exactly where you are. And
Yeah.
it happens to people at different ages. And I used to think, oh God, I'm really old. It's took me ages. And you see, that a lot of people achieve things a lot younger. And I was like, but I've got to remember it was never more than kind of launching a company and wanting it to be successful in its own way. And my way is going to be different to someone else's way. So what I see as success is going to be completely different to what someone else sees as success.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to find your happiness and what makes you happy and what makes you content, and give yourself a break and kind of go, actually stop comparing yourself to everyone else out there, because it's your book, it's your story, it's your journey. And that's what I've learned, that with all my projects and all the things I've launched, and the fun stuff and things that have taken off really quickly, and other things that maybe not as quick as I hoped, or maybe I haven't been able to reach the right amount of people. What I realize is, again, the people that need to find what I'm offering, find it.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that excites me, because that person has come across you and is very grateful for the experience they've had after, say, reading the story or other things. So
I love that. And I love how you use spirituality in the everyday, like manifestation, and like to make all that happen. Like, so you've built something through contentment and passion and adventure and all of those great things, and you've made something really sad something really great and really honorable and memorable. And I think that's incredible in itself. But I think what I love about you, makes me giggle, and that's why I look forward to speaking to you, is the manifestation stories. Like the way you work with spirit, I don't think I've ever known anyone have such fun with it the way you do. Even I don't have as much fun manifesting the way you do. Like, and I think, God, I'm missing out here. I should be a bit more lighter with it. But you just have the best time. And when I've said to you things like, oh, I would really love to do this, or I think there was one where I said, I really want to go and get into reading for the singing industry.
Yeah.
And you were like, you randomly phone me up. You're like, randomly phone me up. What are you doing tomorrow night? When I get one of these, I think, oh my God, it's adventure time. Where's my bag? Let's go. And I'm like, I think I'm free. Why? And you're like, do you want to come to, I'll just say it, like Perry's house, Perry Edwards' house, and you can read for her. And I was like, at your home? You're like, yeah, come along, and I'm going to be doing massages, and she wants reading, so come along. And I was like, okay, great. And I was like, absolutely thinking, oh my God, I'm going to someone's house here, and this is like so big and it's so personal, isn't it, being invited to someone's home, regardless of who they are.
Yeah.
And so I went to the house, and first I had a drama getting there because it's me. And then when I actually finally got in there, I was so desperate for the toilet because the taxi man had dropped me miles away from the house and it was impossible to find. I was like, her mom opened the door, who was so lovely. They were so welcoming.
So lovely.
They couldn't have been
family.
Such a beautiful family.
Nice.
Like, honestly, I don't think you can really see in the media people's true personalities. And they were just such a lovely family and so humble. Anyway, they opened the door and I'm there with a suitcase because I hadn't had time to check into the hotel. And I was like, hello, could I please use your toilet? I'm the psychic. And they were like, okay. So they must have thought, what on earth? But as soon as I walked in, my sign's feathers, as you know from spirit, there was literally a bunch of feathers, like a feather tree in the corner of the room. And I said to Perry, Perry, feathers, do you like feathers? And she said, oh no, she said, it was really weird. I took down all the decorations. It was around Christmas time. Took down all the decorations, and then I completely just thought, I'm not going to throw that one away. I don't know why. So I've just left it there.
Wow.
And I was like, that's for me.
That
tree is for me. That was like full of white feathers. It was so weird. So that was like, I have these crazy manifestation stories, but your stories are just amazing, like the way you do it. So can you talk us through, because I'm very, as you know, I speak to spirit all the time and very in tune, meditate, journal, all of that. I'm literally obsessed with it. It's my whole life. I am a walking spirit.
Yeah.
But like, what is your process to do it?
Honestly, I don't have a process. I'm the complete opposite.
You must have one.
I don't have a process. I have a thought and I just say it out loud. I don't journal anything. I don't meditate. I do everything the opposite of probably what should be done and what some people do need to do. I honestly, it doesn't make sense sometimes, because I literally just go, oh, I really need, I just random stuff. Like I remember saying, oh, I just need to meet this celebrity or this person today, and I went to, local members club I just happened to be a member at, and they just walked in front of me, and I'm like, and it's like my things is like a belief thing. So it's not even what the end result might be, because it might not end up being anything. But sometimes I say things just to see whether it will come to me, or whether that person does appear, or that can happen. And so it's more going back to playful. There's nothing I manifest that would be life-changing, because I don't ask for too much. I just kind of say, oh, I'm working on this, and I don't know, I just literally say it out loud. That's all I can say. Or I'll say it to someone I know, like you, or someone I think, I've said it out loud now, that'll have to happen, because I've actually physically said it. So it's not in my brain, and it's not on a piece of paper, but I verbalise what I'm thinking.
But you know what it is? That's because you're non-resistant.
Yeah.
So when you make big, like, choices, and like I've got a really big one, which I'll tell you about later.
Yeah.
Like I can feel that, oh my God, that is so life-changing. So there's so many T's and C's attached to it.
Yeah.
So then it can feel really like far out of reach.
Yes.
Whereas what you're doing here is playing.
Yeah.
You're going, wow, I'd love that.
Yeah.
And it would be great, but I don't have any resistance to if it didn't either.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like easier for them to keep the flow there.
Yeah.
So it's like micro goals.
Yeah, I would say it is, because I don't want to change the world overnight. There's nothing, I'm not going out, expecting like huge changes, but I like, because I like the journey, because I like the process, and each month changing, each year changing, the kind of conversations that you might have a few years ago and say, oh, if only that could just happen, or if I could just achieve this, or if I could just meet that, or could you imagine if I could get into, all these things, and suddenly you're like, oh, I did that. Oh, that happened. Oh, how did, and it suddenly they are big things, because they're amazing things, some of them, and I can't believe they've happened. I look back and think, how did that happen? How did, like saying out loud, oh, I just want to be on The Apprentice. I just feel like I need some exposure. And then I get a call 2 days later without me even, I didn't even reach out to them. It just came through because they were looking for a brand. This was years ago now. But it's things like that where you just, and that's when I believe, because my intentions are always pure and good, and it's about life and people's hopeful wellness and happiness. Or like, obviously I've launched Sensory Sleep, which is all about sleep. Everything's about trying to help people in some way, whether it to feel good, to sleep, to believe in themselves, or whatever it is. Doing this podcast is not something that's completely out of my comfort zone. It's not something I would normally do. If it wasn't for you, I would not be sitting doing a podcast.
I was going to say, I don't think you've done many, have you?
I wouldn't. It's just, I'm quite insular. I quite like, I'm in my home comforts. I'm not someone that's out shouting and sharing. I just subtly will do what I do. And if I can bring someone on my journey, when I'll call you, or something might come up and I'll think, oh, that person will enjoy that, and it will bring something to that person, then then that's kind of, I guess, the process I use.
Oh, I love
more than that.
I love that. And that's it. So it's micro goals. So I wonder if we should do a little experiment and then,
go on then.
And set something really big.
Yeah.
So that's like really like, wow, oh my gosh.
Okay.
And just see how, because then we can even break it down into smaller bits.
Yeah.
So then it's like, that's the bigger thing.
Yeah.
We'll map it out later.
Yeah.
So we'll go for something really big, and then we'll start doing the smaller things and get spirit to deliver at every level.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can go, oh, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer. And it's got to be something that really excites you. So we'll play around with the energy. But I think you could do it really powerfully. If you're naturally a manifestor, which you are, and you fully believe in the universe, which you do, then all you're doing is putting these steps in place.
Yeah. And even looking back, Shared Beauty Secrets was because I'd read the book The Secret.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, I need to, everything I do or read or feel like links. It's like I've got to share secrets. But that was kind of where that brand. And I went and saw Wicked last night, and I was sort of saying to a friend, it's funny, the surrender, because I'm obsessed with Wizard of Oz. Growing up, I love Wizard of Oz. So going back to my 50th, flew to Vegas to watch Wizard of Oz in the Sphere on the launch night. Just like amazing. Like it was remastered, incredible. But Surrender Dorothy was obviously something that used to go it was in the sky in the film, and one of my taglines was surrender to your senses or surrender to the elements. There's always been stuff where I've been inspired by something I've heard or done. And I think being such a big kid inside, I think a lot of what I bring through is more the fun side of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Rather than the heavy, business, strong, powerful business sort of version of myself. It's more, I'm just easy breezy.
You just want to have some good time.
Let's enjoy the journey. Let's have some fun and see where it takes us.
Is that because you see life as a gift?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm literally grateful for everything because you don't know when it's going to go, and you don't. And actually, the biggest thing that I've learned more recently is health, because I think you're indestructible when you're young, and you can go out and you can have a few drinks and eat what you like, and it's not even it's never been about weight or diet for me, because I've always enjoyed food. I love food. I love doing I've going out. Food's my thing. Like Chris will say to me, my eyes sparkle when I eat. Like he says, that's my happiest.
Your happy place.
My happy place is when I'm eating, which is not great, is it? But I've recently discovered these boot camps that I go to. First Class Boot Camp, amazing. The guy that runs it is Tom, is incredible, and Sophie. But what I've got from that, which at 50, I can't believe it's took me to 50 to kind of even value that. But the long, tomorrow's never promised is a word he says quite a lot. And it's about the health and the food and what you want to look like feel like in 10 years' time. Can you bend down? Can you pick something off the floor? And, how are you going to move? And I think, and nutrition as well. I think that's the only thing. If I look back and wanted to change anything in my life, I would probably be more mindful of those sites, that kind of, grateful for life, but actually, what am I doing to stay healthy? Am I doing enough? And I probably, in fairness, I've not, not too bad at doing anything. I'm, fairly healthy, but I find that's quite inspiring, is thinking about that more.
Absolutely. That's the thing, isn't it? And that's what spirits say. They're very much like, seize the moment, take the moment now. They often come back and say, don't have any regrets, just go for it. They often say that. And that's not just one. That's thousands of them have said that to me over the years. Just enjoy your life. When people say, has anyone got a message for me? And they're like, just go for it. Be your ultimate self. Don't be scared of getting hurt and falling down, and just do it, because that's living, that's life.
100%.
And putting yourself in a cocoon and protecting yourself, it doesn't really serve anyone.
No. And there's a lot of people that will say to me, they might have an idea, and I get so excited by something new. So someone's had something, and it sounds awful, but even if they've had a breakup and they're like, I'm now single, I'm brilliant, because now your journey is going to be completely different, and you can go and get your new journey. And I love that feeling. I love that feeling of newness, of what does that lead to? So
I love that.
I find it quite interesting.
That's fantastic. It's like, it's this new identity, isn't it? And when people get trapped in trying to be who they were, and that's a lot with grief. People will say when they've gone through grief, and grief, obviously not just losing people, grief in every aspect of grief. It's like they will try and seek to get back to who they were. They recognise they feel different, they don't like that, and they try and go back. But what actually has happened is, that's happened in your life for you to evolve and change and re-identify as something else. And so you trying to seek back keeps you in that stress period. Instead of, like you said, get excited, yes, grieve, be sad for the loss, whatever that loss might have been for you. Equally, what emerges from it? Look what you've done. Like you change direction, you use that awful experience and you grieve it, but then you help evolve from it and bring something more to the world.
Sure. And I think it's not being scared to fail. That's the biggest thing, because I do things, and I'm, my accountant would say, no, what you're doing, it's not going to work, or you haven't got the money, or what you're thinking. And I'm like, I'm doing it. I've got it. It's in my head. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not going to not do it, because it's in my soul. I've thought of it now. I can't not finish it. It's come to me for a reason. And I think that's one thing people don't do enough of. I think I don't wish for anyone to take any gambles on anything that would be life-changing for them, but sometimes having the kind of the strength to say, well, let me just try that, or let me, so many people say, I had an idea but I've never sort of followed it through, or I'd like to achieve this but I haven't tried it. And it's like, well, you have to go for it or you never know.
Mm.
But I think there's an element of my personality that's a bit, I guess, again, just grateful for life. So there's nothing that I'm fearful of in that way. I just think, well, I'm here. So, let's just keep going. Let's just keep playing the game and having some fun
I
and,
love that.
See what brings.
And my God, what a ride you're having.
Yeah.
It's just like the ride of
Some
your
funny
life.
stories along the way.
There's been some amazing funny stories.
There is some funny
I just want to go all the way back slightly. I'm just being directed to go back to the lava shell.
Yeah.
So like, I remember the hot stone massage
Yeah.
phase where it was like the real craze. And I remember thinking, God, that's really weird having stones put on your back. But then also it's grounding. So
Yeah.
it made sense. And
Yeah.
obviously the heat. But there was something you said about that. Like, and obviously then it tied into the beach. Then it tied into Richard Branson. Then it led you to... So there's all these different things. And when I met you, when you hired me for that event, I was walking around. There was people having massages.
Right,
It's like a demo.
Yeah.
And I could see them and I couldn't work out what they got in their hands because I could see the shell on the poster.
Yeah.
But they got the two shells in the hand and they were rubbing the shells. And if you think about the shell shape, it's like a hand.
That's right. Yeah.
So like how like...
So the shells are actually from the Philippines.
Right.
Well, they were originally. They were real recycled shells from food waste. So that's where it came from. That's where it all started. And actually, we still give, like, again, going back to purpose, we donate to a charity called SOS Children's Charity since day one. It's not a huge amount, but every month money goes over to them because I had this huge dream. That was a huge dream. When I launched the business, I wanted to build an orphanage in the Philippines. So I set a company up called Shared Dreams, never traded from it, just had the name because I was convinced that was something I would do. I would make, in my mind then I was thinking, I just read The Secret. So I'm like, I'm going to make all this money and like, life's going to be amazing. I can take anything. And then realised that, financially, maybe the money was never landing, but the journey was happening. So I kind of probably switched directions, but they were from food waste. And then there's an invention of heat and the combination of like the minerals and water basically creates a hot shell for an hour. So you get like an hour's worth of heat. So that's where it started. But then they're
inside the shell.
Inside the shell. So there's like a hole. It's like a clamshell.
Yeah.
And then a tiger clamshell. And then there's a hole at the top. And a little plug, and I guess you take the plug off and you put the heat in, and then you've got a portable shell. So it means you can walk around a spa or an event, and which is why we're popular with all the backstage massage, Capital FM, Jingle Bell Balls and Summertime Balls and stuff like that. But you can massage over someone's shoulders, and within about 30 seconds, you've changed their day because they've gone from being really like, oh, I'm so uptight and wound up, and you've just put that heat on the top of their shoulders, and there's a knuckle that's like a thumb. And then there's an edge that's like that. And then you've got the palm. So you're kind of using your therapist touch and the heat to create the magic, I guess. So it's a great product because it's instant. Yeah, it's very instant. You know that you're going to wow someone. There's never a problem where I can walk up to someone, and we've been very blessed. We've met a lot of very interesting and different people over the years, but you can just have the guts to walk up to someone that you probably wouldn't normally, that's probably very, very high profile, and go, pop your hand out and let me show you my shell. And then you can pop it in their hand and they're like, oh, and then turn around, let me show you. And it's because it's over shoulders.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people we've met over the years is because we've met them at events and we've gone to concerts and we've done backstage massage. So that was a part of my journey. I used to call it lava selfies and lava shell massage, and I had lava angels, and that was when it all started. That was the fun stuff. That was year 5. When I thought, I need some fun. I need to bring in, I'd worked so hard for 5 years, and actually there probably wasn't much fun in the first 5 years, that by year 5, I was like, I now need to do something that's going to excite me. And again, it just gave me a bit more interest in sort of dynamics and what I can do, what's this week going to look like, where are we going to be, who we're going to go and see, what we're going to achieve. So we did some really fun stuff with that. But the shells themselves are now porcelain because of the vegans as well. And the fact that there'd been a couple of typhoons, and again, being a small business back in the day, once the shells were gone, I was like, oh, I'm going to go out of business. I've got no shells. I can't train anyone and no one can buy anything. But the business model is the spas keep ordering the heat. So the heat's the part that they need. But instead of having a like a stone heater that's on all day, and they're really hard to clean, stones, because they're porous, so they absorb
Yeah.
bacteria and oil and things, so the therapist has to scrub them clean, and it's a lot of time. It's very time consuming and very bulky, and they don't stay hot that long. So the fact we had suddenly this alternative where you could use 2 or 3 shells, do a whole massage in an hour, you don't lose contact, it was really flowy, and it was an instant hit. So, you know, we went across all the Ballantyne spas, the Champney spas. Obviously, we've got some beautiful independents, some hotel chains, some mobile therapists. There's no one we wouldn't train, because we're like, it's not about how high profile you are. It's about how good you are as a therapist and how passionate you are. And if you want to give a good massage, we can train you in our shell technique. Which actually ironically now has evolved, that we now have a stone that's self-heating. So we now do have a stone, just as an alternative, because a lot of people still wanted stones on their menus, because it sounds,
it's what people know, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what they know.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of good from that. And then we have the lava shells, but we call them lava shells, thermobliss shells, thermobliss stones. I mean, there's so many sort of alternatives to what we're offering, but it's the same product. It's heat in a tool that you massage with, and it's, you know, it's a one-use heat, and then you can then wipe them with an anti-bac wipe, and then you're done. So that's been the core, finding that lava shell in Turks and Caicos, and the reason, ironically, that we found the shells was because the year before I'd got married in Turks and Caicos, and there'd been a family accident, and that was quite traumatic. They did survive, but it was the most awful experience. I won't talk about it, but basically it led to me going back to the island the following year, because my honeymoon, I'd been married a day, and then this accident happened to a family member, and it was a freak accident and all the rest of it. But it meant that my lovely bubble of being married and happiness overnight was, is he going to survive? Is he going to be okay? And suddenly it was a trauma,
Emergency.
an urgent thing. So we were, you know, and he did, thankfully, and everything's okay. So it's all good. Thank God. But we went back the following year, and it was that year that I found the lava shells.
Right.
So I wouldn't have found the lava shells if we hadn't, again, there hadn't been this awful tragedy. I wouldn't have gone back to the island and had a honeymoon, because we obviously didn't get one. But it was finding that shell and saying, how's no one done anything with this? This is nuts. You know, it was being used in a spa, and it was an American product. And I remember just emailing them going, hi, yeah, I haven't got any money, can't offer you much, but I tell you what, and I actually put it in the email, I'm going to get you on Necker Island. I remember saying in the email, I said, I literally, I have got nothing else to give you, but if you let me have your lava shell as an exclusive distribution, I promise I'll make you successful. And they had to trust my promise, and that's how the relationship started.
But can you imagine, like, day to day in business, and you get an email like that?
Yeah.
You just like, you feel the magic.
Yeah.
You feel different. So you can feel passion. Only someone that truly trusts themselves and has passion would ever send an email like that.
I mean, it was, when I look back, it's kind of, it could have just been like, you know, move on. But, you know, we've become their biggest distributor of lava shells globally. Like, we are lava shells, you know, so and we've got such a good relationship with our supplier, and it's just been amazing. So that's allowed, again, just even based where they're based in America, that's given us trips to America quite a lot, and to enjoy kind of business, but also, again, life as well, like
life experiences,
along the way. But so that's been a great part. And then I think COVID happened, and then we realized overnight that we were probably going to lose everything, because again, we were a spa brand, we didn't have a retail line, we only sold to spas and salons. It was the biggest area hit. The spas and salons were obviously shut for over a year, I think nearly 2 on and off.
Was it at all?
I mean, it was awful for everyone. And then I was at a point, and I was like, okay, if I haven't got a lava shell to sell someone, my business model doesn't sustain without sales. I haven't got a pot of money. And then I was like, well, then I'm going to lose my house. And then you suddenly start realizing the impact. And I just remember crying. And actually, I saw, I'd obviously put something on Facebook a long time ago, and I saw it the other day. It was a reminder, and I like, God, you know, like when you look back on something you've written and going, that I can't even remember how bad I must have felt in that moment of writing. Like, you know, it's all gone. Because obviously the spas couldn't pay us because they were shut, and everything was just, it was snowballing. And I was sitting there thinking, well, you know what? it came to me and I let it go. I let it sort of bubble back in the backstory, because it was always about, you have to kind of, as a business, decide where you put in your money. And I was like, but this, if I could create something then that the spas could sell, they could take some and sell it to their clients. If I could create a story that meant it was always wellness and it was connected to someone getting better sleep and someone feeling better about themselves, can I make this happen? Like, how can I bring, with this horrific situation, something to all my spas and salons that are going to be exactly the same feeling I've got, where they're little salons, some of them, and home therapists that are going to have nothing. They're not going to be able to make the payment to their mortgage. And I'd always wanted to kind of have a brand. And I just, again, the name Sensory Retreats just came. It just came like that. Like, oh, that's a good name. That kind of gives across what I want it to do. I want it to be a retreat. And I'm all about the sensory touch and feel. And again, everything that the sound. So we sourced a supplier, and we were saying, well, look, we want to make this product, and I need to get it out there, but we're on our last pot of money. This is it. When this is gone, and I put my first order in thinking, this could take me 3 years to sell, or it could sell quickly. I had no idea, and I knew it was my last chance. It was literally that, and then my business was gone. I was like, so this is my only chance. And as we ordered it, I then again had a moment. I spoke to a very old friend I hadn't spoken to in ages, and I said, oh, I've got this product. I just need to put it in something really good to get it out, but I don't know how to do that because I haven't got the money to make loads and I haven't got the budget. And then she mentioned a company that don't exist anymore, but they were called Birchbox, and they sold obscene amount of boxes at the time, like ridiculous amount. And they used to send out boxes every month.
I
Through the
remember
post.
this.
Do you remember?
Monthly subscription boxes. Yeah, I think I signed up to a couple.
Yeah. And there's now some amazing ones that have taken over that space, and some that we work with really well. But at that point, I didn't know much about it, but obviously it was lockdown, and that's one thing people could do was buy online. And they ordered, and they came to us and said, look, we want this many. And I was like, I literally nearly came off my chair, and I was like, well, that's great, but how do I afford to make that many? And actually, sometimes you don't really make any money when you're going out on that kind of level. It's more about marketing. But what it did, it platformed us, and it went out. And then everyone that tried it was like, this is amazing, because it's one of the self-heating eye masks. You open the pack, you pop them on, and that's it. You're asleep before you know it. So it's so instant.
I can guarantee that actually happens. Yeah.
And I think that was the start of the Sensory Retreats journey. And then it led to candles. And again, just kind of putting it out there, just really want a good candle maker. And then someone would come to me and say, oh, I know a company that actually make this person's candle, and it's really good. And suddenly, you know, the right people are just kind of just showing themselves. So we now have quite a wide range, but the eye masks are what is the success story, because we now actually have just launched our 11th eye mask, all very similar. They all have different scents and different looks and feels, and we put different meditations, sound healing. We do a gift, so it's more than just an eye mask. And as you know, we're now on QVC, so we have this we have where spas and salons now use it in treatments. So you have a massage now with my lovely lava shells, or any treatment sometimes, and then they put the eye mask on, or they'll put you in the relax room and they'll put an eye mask on, and or they'll give you it at the end. There's so many ways that they're used. So it's become very big in spa and salon as part of an essential kind of wellness part of the treatment. And also it stops the client talking and lets them relax, because they don't feel like they're looking at you kind of like making conversation. But it's also thanks to sort of the OK Beauty boxes and all the other retailers that we work with. Although we're mainly a spa brand, we have had a platform in retail. And I love my spa space, because I want to be a spa brand. I want to be the person that they know is established, is got the story, has got the therapy background, has everything that's spa related, is why our brand is so special and very, very different to anything else out there. But going back to big dreams, I'm sure it was you, someone, I had a big moment where I kept getting the Superdrug, in my vision. And I was like, I need to get Superdrug.
This was me.
Yeah. And it was just one of those moments where you have, you sit there and you think, oh, how do I do that then? Because, to get into a big department store, you need to have lots of people using your product that are in retail, you know, and again, everything links back to budgets and money and, well, you know, how many people, you know, are using it outside of this huge space that we've got in spa and salon. That's our baby. But the other space, it's like, we don't understand that space. That's not my background. And that's led to something really exciting, because it was Sienna actually. Well, first of all, Superdrug, and then something came up, and again, I can't even remember the story now, but somebody wanted Superdrug, and then randomly it just came into my psyche. Something happened, and suddenly we were going on their marketplace. So we are in Superdrug in their marketplace, but not in their store, but we are on Superdrug. So I'm like, okay, that's a start, but it's not where I want to be. You know, I want one amazing retail partner that can showcase what we do, because I feel it's an injustice that a lot of people don't know about our lovely brand.
I agree.
So it's like, how do I get that to more people? And Sienna said to me, you know what, Mum, you really need to work with you know, someone that's the kids follow, you know, like someone on TikTok, or someone that's got lots of followers, because obviously that's, again, social media is not my thing. And she had just said to me, she kept seeing a lovely girl called Molly Marsh, who had been on Love Island, been using our eye mask, and she just nicely just kept posting about these eye masks, our eye masks, saying, I love these eye masks for traveling, and you know, they're amazing. And Sienna said, Mum, this Molly is so sweet and she's so lovely and she uses your eye mask, you know, why don't you reach out to her? I was like, yeah, why not? And literally, as she was telling me, I'm voice noting her, going, hi, Molly, you know, I haven't met you, but you've been so generous with all your kind of like conversations and the things you shared about my brand. I just wondered, you want to do a collab? You know, can I interest you in doing something with me? I said, but my first question is, are you a believer in the number 1111? Are you into magic? Like, are you into the spirit numbers? Because it's a really purposeful mask I want to launch for my 11th mask. And she just messaged back saying, absolutely, I'm everything about angel numbers, and let's talk, let's do this kind of thing. And that's led to now us launching a new eye mask with her and her sister Maisie. We've done a photo shoot with them. It's launching in January, which maybe around the time that this goes
will
live.
be out in Jan,
and it's basically, I can probably show you actually, I've got one with me, but it's basically the point being is that was Sienna saying, you know, in her own way as a 14-year-old, this is what I think you're missing, Mum. You know, and I guess you see in me, I am spa, I'm older, I'm 50. You know, it's like I'm not in that kind of young, trendy kind of market.
But it's two different markets, isn't it? When you were doing lava shells, it isn't necessarily something you could train people at home to do.
No.
But obviously, with IMAS, it's a completely different brand.
Yes.
It's very much a personal use brand.
Exactly.
So the two marketing areas are vastly different.
Yeah.
And so you need a different angle, a different approach with it.
That's right.
And the influencer life is very real, isn't it?
It is. And, you know, the thing for me is, again, if someone's come into your life that actually loves your product, it's not about you know, ticking a box and, you know, sending them stuff. It's someone that actually uses your product and loves your product. Then you're like, yes, you're the person. I need
it's a
in my
natural
bubble. It's
connection.
a natural, and again, it's a universal connection again, and all of those moments. And it's been really sweet as well, because then I've been able to show Sienna, look how lovely these people are that we meet. Because again, to a younger child or a younger teenager, you know, you can look out into the big world and see influencers and think, oh wow, you know, they're, you know, this way and they achieve this and they're doing this. But actually, when you meet people like Molly and Maisie, they are the nicest
just
girls.
Normal.
Just normal.
Ordinary,
just
but extraordinary.
Yeah, exactly that. Just incredible. Just so blessed to have them in our bubble. And I think, you know, it may end up that we get more awareness. It may end up we end up following my dream and getting into the Superdrugs or a Sephora, or, you know, something amazing happening. Or it may just be that this has just been a really fun part of my life. Developing another eye mask, getting the number 1111 out into the world, because that's what we've called the mask, 1111, and having that moment again. And that's, again, going back to my expectations. I would love the magic. I'd love the big success and all of the things to come. But actually, I'm already content with what I've done. I'm content it's been made. I know my spas will use it. I know it's got a beautiful purpose. We put a lovely lady called Lisa. She does sound healing, and we put crystal singing bowls on the back. So again, we're platforming her through our music, which means more people will hear this incredible sound.
Rising spirituality.
Exactly. So everything's kind of linked. And that's what, for me, for this podcast, if there's somebody that sees that number 1111 or has a little bit like just gut feeling, you know, like on, you know, seeing something as a sign or a belief, or just making them feel good. Or, you know, we were joking because I was saying to Chris this morning, so many magical things I need to tell Katie about, but I don't want to ramble and I don't know what to share. I was trying to think of things that were 1111 located. And, you know, I went out for dinner a few weeks ago, and a few of us went out, and the bill came to £111 and 1p. You know, like, out of all the figures, I was going for a walk on the boot camp I went on, and I said, just been walking for ages. I looked at my kind of watch, and it was like 11,000 was it 11,000 steps or something? Whatever, 11,101 steps, whatever it was. But it's always the 1111. And the clocks, the signs, they're so strong that I want other people to feel that. So
I'm exactly the
are you
same.
the same?
Yeah. I've written the Angel Number Experiment book.
Oh, right.
And I'm running.
I need that in my life.
I wrote it in the pool on holiday. I was on the Lilo and I could hear it coming through from my spirit guide. And I was like, oh my God, I need a phone. I need a pen and a paper. So I was literally just writing it in the actual pool on a Lilo, and it was just flowing out of me, like just pouring out.
I love that.
And then I've created an 11-day like voice daily action for you to do. So it's understanding, because it's one thing, you'll find this from people when you launch this brand, because it's only just coming out, isn't it? When it launches in January, you'll find people go, I see 1111 all the time. Don't know what it means. What am I supposed to do? Like, you're seeing all those things on receipts and on your phone, and it's like, but what are they at? They're actually telling you something, but you're missing it. You're not taking action on what they're saying. So this is where, and they use numbers, Spirit do, because it's like, you know how in languages we use English as like the main language.
Yeah.
It's like a universal thing.
Yeah.
There's no energy attached to numbers. There's no trauma. There's no heaviness there. So it's the cleanest flow that they can communicate to us through. So it's a natural flow. So numbers are the most powerful thing and the easiest thing, and usually the first thing people see when they start making connections. And so if you can understand and decipher the message and not just Google what does 1111 mean, you'll get thousands of different variations. You can kind of go with which one feels right for you. So you could do it that way, but it doesn't give you that solid, that's definitely it. If you follow the 11 days and decipher and notice your own personal journey, and it's 11 days of your life, you'll change your life. So 11 days, the Angel Number Experiment. And it's running now. I'm doing it now.
Oh, well, we need to link that.
And it's £11. It's like, it's amazing.
Yeah,
obviously,
exactly.
it had to be 11.
It had
but
to be 11.
They're loving it. The people are absolutely loving it.
So we need to then talk
results.
Because then we're planning whether this will be out before or after, but we're launching the 1111 eye mask on the 11th of January at 1111, obviously. And the connection, again, we've always said there needs to be something we need to do together, but not working out. Kind of, we just keep saying there's something. Like,
me and
we
you?
Just,
oh God, we've been doing this for years.
I know, and it's weird because everything comes so easily. But with this, there's always been like, when is the big thing? What's the connection?
To be honest, as listening to you now, it came through the Angel Number Experiment, because I heard it come through. Like, before the book, I was doing my makeup and I heard and like my guide's emergency voice. It only comes through and it's like an emergency. And I thought, oh my God, I can feel it before I hear it. And it's a deep voice, and it said the Angel Number Experiment. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? The Angel Number Experiment, the Angel. And they went, buy the domain. So I was like, okay. So I brought the domain. I thought it won't be available. And looked, it was available. So I brought everything.com, you name it, left it. And then I was in the pool, and then the Angel Number Experiment book just came through. After I was doing a meditation, and I was like, oh my God. And that was it. I couldn't get up quick enough. You know, when you like all of her friends see on the Lilo and you're half falling in the pool. And I was like, oh, so that's how. And then speaking to you now, I'm thinking that's the link.
That is the link.
That's the link.
It's so powerful. I've got to show you the eye mask now.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let me see it.
Of the books. Oh, here we go.
So anyone that's watching on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, you might want to just have a quick look on YouTube now. Because these are incredible. I remember you sending me the graphics for this.
I know.
And saying, what do you think? And I loved it.
Yeah.
So as you can see, here it is, just showcasing. feel like I'm on
I know.
QVC now.
Yeah, there you go. We'll get you on QVC.
Now, I have to say, I've not used this one, but I use the Silk Eye
Yeah,
Mask.
yeah. So you
I've
use
got
our.
the, oh
Which one
yeah,
have
do
you
you want
got?
to
I've
show?
probably got that one
I've got
in
the
here.
green one.
Yeah.
And
So
I've
you've got our sleep
also,
range, haven't you?
yes, and I've got the heat, and I've also got the cooling ones.
So these were the one use. So I'll get them out in a minute to show you what a one use one looks like. But this was the one. So this is the invention. So this was very 11/11 based, because I kept thinking I needed to launch something that was different to everyone else. I was like, I can't have something that I need something that nobody's done and that's sort of unique to us. And we know the heat's amazing, and we know that the eye masks are amazing. But I was like, I feel like we need it on a wrap. So I literally would go on these long dog walks, and going back to vision, a lot of it actually is dog walks. That's the way forward, is dog walks, because you get the exercise in.
And it's
But
connecting
then you
to
get the
nature.
connection. It's
This is what I want to talk to you about, because I
Yeah,
think you're not,
unbelievable.
I don't think you're realizing how nature and spirituality, you're connecting so much deeper than what you think you're giving yourself credit for.
Yeah, I don't
think you're aware of it.
So that's the green one. You had the green one.
I've got
You
the
had
green
first
one.
Yeah. So
but
this is
I
the green.
love
This
these.
is actually also in actually it's a sellout, so it's not even available now. But in the OK Beauty box with Hannah Martin, she's put that as one of the gifts in one of the days.
Yeah.
And then you've got the little heat.
Love
And again,
these.
that's going in the little pocket at the top.
They go here.
Yeah, so they go in. So that's what excites me again, because we've evolved something that sort of a lovely heated product, which all our others are, and made it into something that is more sustainable, because you've got the wrap and you can use it every single night, and then you can use it with heat, or as you said, with cold, or with the lavender scent. You can kind of pick. So that is a world first. There's nothing in the world like this eye mask. Actually, there's not even any in stock at the moment, because as soon as we get it in, it comes out. Basically.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing. But can I also say, it doesn't hurt like your head.
No,
so
it's so soft.
So these I use as a medium.
Yes.
Because when I'm meditating, and I'm clairvoyant, as you know, so I see visuals.
Yeah.
When I put this on, it blacks out everything. So there's no shadows, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And I can get clear visuals when I meditate.
Yeah.
So, and it warms your eyes.
Yes,
so
that's right.
it sends like comfort to your sense of your eyes.
Nice.
So if you're looking to develop your clairvoyant skills and you struggle with like shadows or colours or things like that coming in front of your eyes, black it out, feel the warmth, and you make a deeper connection.
Yeah, amazing. And I think actually, after having readings as well with you, if I'd I obviously have these, but popping these on, I remember, again, I remember you saying, and it was even before I had these. I remember one of our first readings for the 10th birthday. First thing you said was, you're lying there and the sun's on your face, and it was something about sun and heat. Yeah. Well, obviously, by wearing one of these, you feel like the sun's on your face.
Sun's on your face.
So when you're actually receiving a reading, it also doesn't let you look at your phone, look at your watch, get distracted by anything, because your eyes are shut. And I think the game changer for us, we got Dermot O'Leary were on this morning, basically, and they picked it as a product, again, completely by random, Lunar Eyes. And it went on this morning, and Dermot put it on, and he was like, I love these, and I'm a contact lens wearer, and I read a lot, and I use these eye masks, and they're amazing. That was a moment. And actually, I then had to go and meet him, because I was so grateful. He, like I say, I'd never met Dermot, so this was a completely off his own back.
Seems lovely.
So lovely.
Yeah.
But as a brand, being on this morning, it literally, I watched my phone go ding 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 ding.
I bet you did. We're like, oh my god,
oh dear. And then you're ringing the parents, the mums, going, anyone free tonight? We need to pack some boxes, because we then knew that we had all these orders to go out. But then the next year, then I sort of stalked him and thought, where is Dermot? How can I meet him? And he was doing books, because he's got these amazing books, kids' books.
I didn't know he wrote kids' books.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I think it's Toto the Ninja Cat, I think they're called. Sienna had them at the time. Anyway, so I went to one of his book readings, queued up, got to the front, and at that point I'd also written that was it. Yeah, I'd written the Elfland, the Lost Wish, and I'd done the Elf Eyes and all that as well. And so I got this goodie bag, and I turned up at he was ready to sign something. I was like, hi Dermot, I've got a gift for you. And then I hand him this bag of stuff, and I was like, there's stuff for your son, and I just said, I just want to thank you, because I know again, the same need I had to thank Richard Branson, in a kind of like, although they not expecting me to thank them, I just had this urge.
People probably don't.
No, they probably don't. So I basically went to him and just thanked him, said, you featured us on this morning. I know obviously it was probably a product just put in front of him. It wasn't his choice to have it on. I said, but it was so powerful what you said, that, thousands
Thank
of
you.
people ordered, and I said, now I've got thousands. Actually, that's another 1111. I googled and didn't Google, asked one of my office team. I said, how many reviews have we had on a certain product? I said, because we get so many 5-star reviews. I said, can you pull it? And there's this report that comes off of the shop, and it was 1,111 5-star reviews.
Oh
And
my
I'm like, out of all
gosh,
the
you can't
numbers
even
in
make
the
it up.
world, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So yeah, he was, that again, that was Lunar Eyes, but we have Divine Eyes, and we had all these other eyes, but Luna was the one he had really sort of shouted loud about. But then the sleep range has come off the back of this wrap, because we realised actually the world wants to sleep.
Yeah.
So we put sort of music on, and then we have look, we've got pillow spray and everything in here. So this
I've
is
got the
something,
pillow
we've got the pillow
sprays,
spray,
and I've got the roll on.
So we've got the pillow spray.
I'm
and
like a walking advert.
And yeah, you are. And you find the kids as well, like teenagers as well, like love this. They'll just spray that at night time.
Yeah.
I'm going to spray it now because it's so lovely. Well, let's give it a little.
It smells
spray.
amazing.
There we go. Let's give ourselves some.
And if you're like, when you're psychic with the senses,
yes,
it's like all of this matters.
Yeah, it does.
Like the sense of touch, the comfort, the warmth, the smells, like. It's the intention of sleep. It's setting the intention of sleep. It's not throwing yourself in the bed and hoping you go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's the way you go to sleep and the way you wake up. Then is so different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that
smells amazing.
I know.
You'll put me to sleep. I'm about this in a minute.
Do you know I did that on QBC? What were we doing? It was a menopause talk, and we were going around the city. And I'd passed my eye mask round. So everyone was like lying back with the eye mask on. And then one of the
they're even on TV.
Yeah, one of the girls then went to do a talk, and she was like, I've never not got my words right. She said, you've literally zoned me out. I can't get my words out.
Bless her.
So, yeah, I'll show you the I'll show you the 1111 colour as well, because it is beautiful. Actually, it's the first pack that is to be opened ever. Ever. Literally, it's the only sample.
Oh, it's the first one live here on Talk Spirit to Me. There we go.
So
let's have a look. Oh, these are amazing. Let's have a look.
So that's that one.
I always like to smell things.
Oh, that one's Rose. Rose and Oud.
Rose is my... How did you know Rose is my favourite?
I know things.
I'm so aligned to Rose. I can't put it on. I will be asleep.
Yeah, I do need to show you, Katie, just very quickly, because I know this was part of the reason we spoke as well, was the book with Rory.
Yes.
And this, I remember having a reading with you.
I was going to ask you about your readings, because you've talked a lot about manifestation. You talked a lot about... kind of making things happen and grief, and sound healing, all of those things, 1111 angel numbers. But you really resonate with psychic readings.
Really do. Yeah.
Like you really connect
I have done for a long time, before I even met you, probably since I was 18. Yeah. And I've always had, do you know, I've needed it. I think maybe going back to my younger years of just not knowing, am I going to, achieve anything? Am I going to, earn any money? Am I going to be successful? Am I going to have a nice life? What's going to happen? What? Yeah. And I guess having a clairvoyant reading, even going back then, has been massive, because I will take the bits I want to hear. I definitely pull out the bits, and I go, that's the bit I want to happen. So I think I take the reading as part of a strength of confidence, and I say, well, they've said it, so it's got to happen, and then I suddenly believe it. And as you know, if you believe something and you wish for it and manifest it and then strive for it, generally it will come to you. Yeah. So it's a very powerful position I think you're in as a person, being able to help and guide people, because I know that I probably wouldn't have made some decisions I've made along the way without having a clairvoyant reading. Yeah. Where they've given me and they're real big life decisions that, I've gone when I've been like, I need to know, do I do this or do I do that? And they've literally said, this is what I believe is going to happen for you. And I've gone, great, that's what I wanted to happen. And I'm going to roll with that answer, and I'm going to, hope it does. And so many things have come true. And again, it's too deep to share a lot of it. But for me, because I've had the belief and I've believed what I've heard, and things have changed and things have come to light and things they've said have come true, it's kind of then given, again, it's that belief, then you start believing more and you think, well, actually... Can
I just stop you there just for a minute, because I can hear some of the skeptics already. So, for example, when you have somebody reading for you, so I work with people like you, entrepreneurs, that are making massive decisions every day and wanting guidance and wanting to feel good in themselves and get themselves back into alignment. So it's not an easy thing, is it? Running your own business. It's hard. And the more successful you are, the more challenges come along the way. So that's what I do. But what I think a lot of people would have heard from that are skeptics, and hopefully they probably won't even listen to my podcast, but just to clear it all up, you're not saying here that spirit have told you this, so then you go and do it because it's been said to you, so it must have to happen. And because you're an action taker, you go and happen. You go and make it like become real. What you're actually saying here is because when the reason you've got faith in spirituality and psychics is you've been to readings, and I've read for you many a time, and you've gone, how did you possibly know that? How could you that you couldn't possibly know that? Nobody knew that. And there'll be so many things that I've said to you and other mediums have said to you as well. And you're like, yeah, that's definitely it. That's like, oh my gosh. So then that trust of what is it you feel I'm supposed to do next? When that guidance comes through, the only reason you're ready to go, yeah, I can feel that feels right, is because you've had that validation through other more meaningful deeper
connections. You've said something, and it, again, like you say, it'll be something that, how would you know? There's no way you'd know that. There's no way you'd be able to know that without.
Can you give us an example of
there's so many
that I've done?
There's so many, but I guess they're so deep.
I don't want to go too personal. It is very personal. It's so personal, which is why I don't do readings live on podcasts. And it's too personal.
And that's the thing for me. I think it is personal, and I think that person has to. You know what you do is brilliant. Like, and
thank you.
I know what I've gained from it, and I know that I've heard your voice at the time I've needed to hear it. But I think the person needs to want to hear it as well. They've got to want to be open to someone saying something that's going to shock them,
100%.
or giving them some guidance, or saying something that, like say, validates what you're doing and what you're saying, but gives the person the confidence to go. Because like say you might say something to me and you might have said something, I'd be like, no, I definitely don't want that to happen, and I would force against it probably, because in my mind it's like, that's not the way I want it to go. But that's never happened, because everything that's always been said has always either happened or I know it's going to happen, or maybe I already want it to happen. So it's never a shock. Like, there's nothing you've told me that's shocked me, but it's stuff that you've made me think, yay, that's inspired me. I suppose I get inspired. I get inspired, as that's a good word for me, from a reading. It always makes me think,
There was someone I was reading for yesterday, and they were and ahhing what to do with something. I can't say the details, but said situation. And all I kept seeing was this puzzle moving around 10 times, like all these boxes moving around, all these puzzle pieces. And I was like, what? And I was trying to watch them and read the puzzle as he was talking. And I was like watching. And then I said, just stop a minute, just stop talking. And he's like, oh, sorry. And I went, no, sorry. I said, just stop talking for a minute. I need these puzzles to stop moving so I can read what's on the screen. And so I'm looking up, it's like a screen I see. And I'm like, right, okay. And I could see the words then stop as he stopped speaking, because his mind was whirling. His energy was like making spirit go into a spin. So I stopped him, looked, and then I was like, that's what you need to do with that. And then I could hear the voice. When he stopped talking, I could hear the voice. Blah, 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 blah. You do this. And I said it, and they went, oh my God, I never even thought of that. I'll call you back.
Oh, how funny.
Hung up, did a couple of phone calls, called back, went, I can do that. And it's going to save me 75% of the cost.
Wow.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks for that.
And I'm also going to make so much more in the future. And I'm like, you're welcome. No worries.
But what a nice feeling.
Yeah.
For you to be able to like guide people and just maybe show them that, say that they're just not able to see it without the extra bit of help, maybe sometimes. It's I love it. I love the changes. I love just the journeys just over the years, I think. And I'd say, I don't know, probably about maybe 5 years or so I'll have a read, and maybe 10. But there'll be a lot of times I don't need a reading, so I won't drive for it, because I'm like, actually, there's nothing in my life I want to change. Right now, everything is exactly as it should be. But it's normally when I'm crossroads and I'm like, oh, which way do I go?
You're on the cusp.
I need a bit of help. And I think, for whatever reason, it's brilliant. So
I love that. So when we were on our call, and obviously we want to, I won't say too much, but there was a big thing that came through on the call. And with that, like you had this breakthrough, didn't you, to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
this now?
So so my thing, going back to my brother Rory, was that I wanted to, I had this, again, it's just, I don't speak to spirits. Like, I don't do what you do.
No.
I just have a belief, I guess is what I would say. I have a belief that something will appear, or I'll hear something in whatever form. But I was having dreams, and it was telling me a story in a weird way. And I had a moment with Sienna where she was 9, nearly 10, I guess, and see, it was Christmas, and they grow up very quickly. And
do.
I was trying to keep, because I'm a big kid, and I was like, I could be magical forever. Like, I don't want to ever not be, like, thinking the magic's going to happen. But we were thinking about, I don't know, we're talking about life, I don't know, and Santas and Christmas, and then we got talking about elves, and then between, again, Sienna's, I would say she's somebody, without realizing it, she just drops things into conversation, and then I'm off creating businesses and making them out, and she just thought of an idea. So actually, it was her that thought of the idea, elf eyes.
Yeah.
She said, Mum, you should do an eye mask called Elf Eyes for kids for Christmas. And I remember Chris coming in going, nope, you're going to waste loads of money. No one will buy it.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Like, parents won't spend that money on their kids. And I was like, yeah, but children need it. Like, there's a lot of kids with sensory issues, and people with overactive minds, people that don't sleep well.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a cost because it's one use, but it's an instant fix. It's an instant, I can't sleep. There you go. Try the eye mask, and hopefully they then get back to sleep or go to sleep. And I was like, well, let's link it to a meditation. And so it ended up being, obviously, we overruled Chris, because as much as I love him to bits, he was he'll give he'll solid advice. I was like, I'm not backing down. She said it, Sienna wants it, I'm going to see what I can do. So it started with Elf Eyes, but because he had put doubt in my head, I was saying, well, what can we do to help sell the book? Let's tell a story. So this Lost Wish became a story. But again, it's 10,000 word story. It wasn't just a little story. Yeah. And the weird thing with that is I didn't know any authors. I didn't know any illustrators. They're not in my circle. And I said out loud, I just need to find someone that can write it, because I'm dyslexic. I've got an idea, but I can't. I'm not the doer. It's like I've got all the ideas in the world, but I need someone amazing around me. So the one thing I say in all of my career, there's always someone amazing next to me doing the magic and making it come to life. I can kind of think the ideas, but I can't do it all.
Yeah.
And I randomly got a phone call off a friend I hadn't spoken to in 3 years, maybe. How you doing? What you doing? And then she just happened to say that her sister's an author, and I was like, sorry, what? And he was like, I was like, what? I only said this morning, or whenever it was, and so
she's quick, guys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. She was very quick. That was very quick. So then I got speaking to her, and she'd written a book, and I ordered it on Amazon, and I read it, and it was magical, and I loved her. I spoke to her, and I said, oh my God, I love you, Emily. You're amazing. Can you please write this book for me? And it was one of the most enjoyable journeys of my career, doing, like, we used to speak every day, and she's very magical as well, and I'd be saying, like, oh, I've got this idea, and Sienna's now said this, and so the just very quickly, the idea of the story was Sienna, she picked her friend from school, Gabby, so they became there was Gabby and Sienna, and they'd go to a market, and a wizard would sell them some elf eyes, and as they put it on, they go to Elfland, and they have to save all the wishes of 1 million children, linking Rory as a star in the sky, making the wishes come true. But that's how it started. But then it ended up being
film, that
the
is.
magic. I know, honestly, I feel like it should be
This is a film.
It's pretty special. But with it, because we then, again, another friend of mine, I was saying, oh, I've got this story now, but now I want to bring it, because I'm visual. I need colour, and I need imagery. And she then ended up drawing the characters, but every character in the story is someone that we know. So then you've got kind of, you've got the wizard that was drawn was basically Sienna's granddad. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the teacher was our neighbour, so we drew based on the teacher, and all of these lovely things. So we included her friends, and then they had elf names when they went to Elfland. And then I went to our local school, this is in real life, and I said, look, I've got this idea, can all the kids draw what their spirit elf, what would they be, and what superpower would it have? Anyway, like 150 kids drew this drawing, and I remember putting them all up on my wall. I'm like, how do I pick a winner? And we ended up picking 4 people, and we put them in the book. So I promised to these kids, well, we're going to bring your story to life, and we made their characters part of our story.
Oh.
So that was like 4 of the kids at
Oh, I
school
love
got into
it.
the little book.
Yeah.
But then we made meditations and wellness, and then we linked it to positive sayings and affirmations. So I've linked all my
Kindness.
spa background, linked it to this. But the problem then was, it was amazing because you put the elf eyes on, that's brilliant. But then I got carried away. And I was like, okay, well, I need a dog toy. So it couldn't just be a story. I had to include this is my dog buddy. And then it's like, well, I can't just do that. I now need a magic hat, like, because that's in the story.
Oh, it's got a full kit.
It's got the kit. So then actually we made full elf outfits as well. But the hat's part of the magic of the story. And then obviously we got the elf eyes, and then we got the draw your spirit elf. So you got the magic from that. And then I did, and one of the pixie in the story was based on Perry, because Sienna had met her and thought she was amazing. So I was like, what do we want? So then this magic wish wand is based on wishing, but it's wishing wellness. So you have all of like happiness and courage and strength. So trying to give kids back, I want to take them back in time and help the parents have something to interact with them with the magic, but the kids be more playful with life rather than just be on
see
like
more of the meaning of it as well.
like be more about that. And then that led to obviously the elf eyes. The elf eyes, where it all started. So this is literally, this drawing was Sienna drew on a piece of paper, and then I just made it into the design.
Oh, I love it.
And then so you get your little elf eyes. So these have been selling so well at Christmas because they go into like Christmas Eve boxes and things like that. So, but then actually we have been gifting everyone that's bought these. We've given them the book for free without them knowing. We've just put it in with a wish wand, just again giving back the magic so that people get a bit more than they're expecting. We support Make-A-Wish. We give them loads of books every year, and for me, it's just about getting it into the hands of people that want it.
Like, how is this not the gift set for the children that go to see Father Christmas in like Harrods?
I know.
It's
like
amazing.
in
like Harrods and Hamleys. And how is this not?
I know,
or like
it's
the
incredible.
Really luxury hotels when they do those breakfasts with Santas.
I think the thing with us is you only know when you know. It's kind of like, it goes back to small business. You have to rely on word of mouth. So,
but I'm hoping they find this clip.
This is magic.
We do reach the people.
Yeah, the people.
So I do think this needs to be in like luxury hotels and like the more prestigious places. Just because, and the only reason for that is because it is more of a luxury gift. Yeah,
it's definitely luxury. But you know what? We've now we sell it at a price that's, I don't make profit on selling that. It's not about the profit. It's about putting that into someone's bedroom at Christmas Eve night, or the family reading it, because the story is so sweet. It's filled with kind of life lessons and things that can happen. There's a troll in there called Colette. There's things that happen. I'm not saying anymore. But there's things that happen, and you're kind of sharing that. But there's a dragon that's kind of looks like it's mean, but actually it's misunderstood, and kind of everything's based on something. And then actually it's all about everyone ends up in a happy place at the end. It's all about, saving the world with the wishes and helping the people. But it's funny. And, a teacher, again, local teacher, edited the story. So Emily wrote it with me, or my brain and her would talk, and then she would write it up. And then he edited it because he was brilliant at grammar. But all these people came to allow that book to happen, is what I'm saying. I don't know. I would never have known how to make that happen. So when it got into being an Amazon bestseller when it first launched, so the Christmas #1, we got it into Waterstones. There's a members club called Soho Farmhouse near where I live, and they had a big Santa event, and we were their gift that Christmas. So like magic happened. But it's still the untold story that people haven't discovered yet. So that is such a heartfelt thing for me. When they find the book, they get the magic.
It's divine timing as well. And I think that's a movie. That's a film.
That would be the dream.
It is. That's what you've written there, a movie. And it's not only, it's like, I love the Christmas films. Do you ever watch Christmas films on like Netflix?
I could watch them all year round. I love Christmas.
I do. I've literally got, I've even watched the ones that have come out this year already. I love them. They're so heartwarming and so heartfelt. And I think that is something that's missing, like the elf story and like all the Christmas films for kids, like the Polar Express. They're all lovely. They're so meaningful, aren't they? and they're so deep. And I think
Yeah.
that's also matches that
Yeah.
frequency.
Yeah. It
So,
definitely came from such a deep emotional space, but with the purpose of giving kids like belief and
yeah.
strength and understanding how to understand their feelings. Like there's even something at the back, who you most like today, and there's all the different characters,
Yeah.
personalities. So if they are having a bad day, they're like, oh, I was
Yeah.
actually a bit more like that one today. Like Lester the rat, you know,
Oh,
was a bit
yeah.
grumpy but funny. And then there's all different kind of personalities. But again, it's out there now, it's in the world, it's been made. But if someone had said to me, my 13-year-old version of myself, one day you'll write a book, no, that won't happen. I don't even read books. I literally don't read anything. I am, you know,
I love reading.
I never read, and that's the problem. It's like I'm
Yeah.
trying to educate people to do something that I actually never did, because probably because of dyslexia, or the fact I didn't really, I don't know why, maybe didn't have the attention span to read. But yet it's so important for me to get this book out there. So it's a really hard dynamics with that.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what you
what
would
I
do.
know.
Yeah.
But I'm all about visuals. So for me, it's the films.
That's why I say I
it's
can
all the
see
Disney, it's all the
film.
magic, it's everything.
Yeah.
That I love all of that. So that would be that would be the ultimate, is to make that so it is a visual story, as well as sort of, I guess,
feel like this is the big manifestation we need to do next.
Let's make it happen.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
This is your big thing.
This is
I love that.
Let's get the film editors on.
So I love this, and I love all of the things, because what you've shared here is a life without holding yourself back, and without like worrying too much about tomorrow, worrying too much about how you're coming across, and you know, letting yourself be truly free has created you the most magnificent life of stories. Like, I feel like you need to write a book about all your life experiences and everything you've done, because it's creating business through joy and magic. That's what you've done. You created opportunities in business through joy and magic, and that doesn't really get done a lot. A lot of it is focused on, you must, you know, put your head down for the first 3 years and have all this in, and you won't be successful until you've done this, this and this. And you're a living proof of the complete opposite of that. And like, I'm different as well. Like, I'm all about giving and connecting and having fun along the way, and having the most bonkers journey myself. So I'm the same as you, but yours is so much more freer and more joyful and more fun. And that's what Spirit are about. It's about living your life, loving your life. And if things do go not to plan, it's a case of, well, where do you learn from that? Where's the growth? Where do you pick up? And you're not scared to do that. And that's exactly what I hope our listeners take away from this today, and really feel her passion. Can you see why we get on so well? Like, this lady, when I'm with her, we have the most magical time. It is bonkers what happens when we're together. Everyone gives us everything for free.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
We can't even make it up. And I say to her, does this happen to you normally? And she's like, not the level when I'm with you.
No, not to that level.
I have unusual things happen all the time, as you know. I tell you all my stories, but never to the scale with you. Like, we once went, so I'm going to tell my story. We once went to a club in London. It was so random. Where would we be first? Why were we even there?
Would we into awards night or something?
An award? Oh, no. Yes. I'd taken you to something for someone. I won't say who it is, but there was something I'd been asked to go to, and I said, will you come with me? And you were like, yeah, no problem. I thought, the one who's up for an adventure is Claire. She'll come with me. So we booked a hotel, didn't we? And then we went for dinner first. Then we went to the event. Then we left the event and we were driving home in the taxi, driving back to the hotel.
Stop.
And there was this nightclub, and I don't go nightclubbing.
I mean, it's been a very, very long time since
I haven't been since
but
that night.
I knew of this nightclub because it's so high end that you can't get into it, basically. So it's one of those nightclubs that if your face doesn't fit, or, you know, I'm not going to mention the name of the nightclub, obviously, but it was it's a very popular nightclub. It's an amazing nightclub, but I'd been thinking about using it for a party, but the restrictions were so strong, like with everything. I was like, well, I'm a bit more go with the flow, kind of letting people in. And I remember saying to you tonight, I was like, oh my God, this club's
You're like,
meant
oh
to be
my God,
amazing.
we're going past this club. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'd never heard of it. I'm not that cool. And I was like, I don't know. I haven't even heard of it. And you were like, oh, yeah. Oh, look, it's open. It's really rare. Because this was like a weeknight, wasn't it?
It was like a Monday night or something.
Yeah,
it was
like
random.
Monday or Tuesday. It was really random. And you were like, do you mind if we just pull up and see? Because I really want to see what it's like inside. And I was like, you want to go clubbing? And you were like, well, no, but I just want to go and see what it's like. I said, yeah, okay. And you were like, oh, it must be a private event. And so we left the taxi, we got out and we walked. We were quite dressed up, weren't we?
We
'Cause
were,
we'd been to
yeah.
an event.
Yeah.
But we walked up to the front. And it was like, oh, it was the weirdest experience, but the funniest. And there was a clipboard queen. And
Yeah.
if you've known me a while, guys, you know I talk about clipboard queens all the time. So the people with the clipboard, and they have the power, don't they,
Yeah.
who comes in.
Yeah.
And our names were obviously not on this list.
Yeah.
And we didn't know anyone there. And it got to the point where I think they said something like it was a private event.
I don't know if it was a private event, but we weren't
on the list.
We probably weren't fitting the look, the
Yeah.
image. I don't think we were quite their target market.
No,
I
there was
think
a
maybe
theme.
age wise, it might have even been that. It was more of a young person's club, without being
It's
rude to
definitely a young
ourselves.
person's club. Yeah,
I
we can
just
say
think
it.
we weren't. It was kind of like, nah,
Yeah.
you're not on the list. It was quite funny, but then obviously,
But yeah, that was clipboard queen, wasn't it?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then there was a guy behind her that said he misunderstood
Oh,
what she'd
so
said.
funny.
And I won't say the name, he said, you're on thingy's
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
And she then questioned herself because somebody stopped her and asked her something else. So she'd forgotten what she kind of said.
Yeah.
And then we just looked at each other and we went, yeah. And that's not
Oh,
like
that
me
was
and
it.
you to
I know,
lie.
I
But
know,
we
it was
just went,
awful.
yeah. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she looked at us and she went, you're on the list. And I was like, yeah. And she went, really?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And you were going, yeah. And then he was like, she is, they're on the list. Come on in. And he was trying to get the queue down, wasn't he? And get people in.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she just let us through and you could see she was not happy about it. She was fuming.
Yeah,
she knew.
was fuming.
And then they asked for all our passports and
Yeah,
everything.
we
I
had to get that to
didn't
get
have
through,
my
didn't you?
passport.
Yeah.
And I was getting a little bit suspicious then because
Yeah.
I'd not been clubbing for a while. I didn't realise
Yeah.
that was the new thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we went down and we literally got put into this VIP area where there was jugs of champagne, there was bottles of vodka, it was just full, wasn't it? This massive bowl. And we were at the front of this stage.
Yeah.
We were like the prime position in the nightclub. It was the weirdest thing. And we were
Yeah.
obviously the first ones there because we're losers. But we were like, no one
Yeah,
else
there's
had even
still-
got
yeah,
there.
but there was a few people.
There was
around,
people
wasn't
coming
there?
in.
Yeah.
But we were one of the first to
Yeah.
come in. The rest were following behind
Yeah.
us. Hence the queues. But oh God, it was the funniest night. Everyone spoke
But do you know
to
what
us.
I thought was funnier is the fact we'd been given all this free. So they came in, didn't they? And they said,
Yeah.
because you're on so and so's guest list, this is all yours. It was
Yeah.
all free. And you looked at me and went, oh, I'm not taking it. It might have been spiked or something.
Yeah,
You said
no
it just
one really
cracked
funny
me up.
about
And I was like, well, I
drinks,
don't
yeah.
want to take anything for free because it won't feel right because I pay for everything. I've got this kind of, I'm the person that will pay even if it's meant to be free. It's like,
Yeah.
no, let me pay. And do you remember that it was all these free drinks and we didn't take, so we went to the bar
Yeah.
and bought our own drinks, even
And
though
they
it was
started
all
following
free.
us,
So
yeah.
they were like thinking, why are you going to pay for a drink when
Yeah.
it's all free? Because no one does that normally. Obviously,
No.
if something's given for free, everyone would take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So we're buying our drinks at the bar. And I think that bit was cracking me up. And we're having a dance. It got really busy, didn't we? We were having
Yeah.
a real laugh. And then as we left, do you remember that girl was like, so whose guest list were you actually?
Yeah. She
was
still
like-
questioned
She was
us
still
on the way
angry,
out.
and we were just
Yeah.
cracking up laughing because we'd had this great night.
Oh, it
We
was
hadn't
so
got
funny.
anything that we didn't deserve. All we did was get them for free, which
Yeah, because
actually
we didn't want to take
it was.
advantage,
It was,
did we?
yeah. And the weird thing is, no, I don't even know if we got him for free. I think I don't remember if we paid to get him. We
No,
didn't
we
get anything. We
paid.
I think we
Mhm.
did pay.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's nothing we took from the universe that wasn't given to us, but we were offered everything and we chose not to take it. But we
They
were
even
just
offered to
grateful to
pour
be
it
in.
for us, didn't
Yeah,
they?
it was
They
ridiculous.
gave us a waiter. And
Yeah,
I
it was
like,
funny.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't take any drinks off
But
anyone.
I loved it
Yeah.
because it was that you're not meant to be here, but I'm
Yeah.
just going to let you girls know you wanted a good night. We're going to get you in. Like that's when I believe that
Yeah.
these magical things happen. Because it was just, again, it was that, well, why are we being rejected? That's not
Yeah.
fair. We want a good night out. Why shouldn't we be allowed in this club?
And it's where then we understood it was the A-listers were all there.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, now it makes more sense.
Yeah. That's so funny.
now it
That was
makes
so
sense why
funny.
they're so strict.
Oh, dear.
But it was
Did tickle me.
hilarious. We did have the funniest time.
Yeah.
And absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And definitely go back again.
Yes,
It was
yeah.
like the music was so good,
It was so
wasn't it?
good.
And it was
so,
such a good vibe.
yeah, it was good. It's just, again, just
Yeah.
taking the moment, weren't we?
But
Taking the
somebody
moment.
came up to us and said, are you two having a good time? Because we were sat like with our eyes open like this before we started dancing. We were just looking around, watching everyone, weren't
Oh,
we?
so good.
We were like, we're having the best time ever.
Yeah. Oh,
So yeah, I
Yeah.
loved it. So here's to many more adventures,
Yes,
Claire.
many
more along the way. There's going to
Yeah.
be more things happening,
Yeah.
especially in 2026. I can just feel it.
yeah.
And thank you so much for being
No,
here. Have
thank
you
you for having
enjoyed
me. I
this? Because
loved
I know you were a
it.
little bit
Yeah, no,
apprehensive.
it's not. Yeah, I love it. Well, it's just talking to a friend and sharing a
Exactly.
few stories. I just hope that it's what people wanted to hear, and someone gets something from it, and
I think you've
go from
inspired a
there.
lot of people today,
Let's hope
definitely.
so.
I can really feel it. Now, as I was saying to you, I always do a feather intention. You know how I feel about feathers.
Yeah,
And I don't need to tell
I
you
love
the
the fact it's
story.
pink.
Oh, obviously, it's pink, it's
I
me.
love it.
So, feather intention, we want to set the intention for like we give something back. So, this is totally aligning with you and everything you
Yeah,
say. I like to give something out to people at the end
yeah,
of every episode, like a little memory or something to give them that spark. Maybe
yeah,
they're having a bit of a tough time at the moment,
yeah,
for just something.
yeah.
So I want you to do the
Okay,
same. So that's your feather.
thank you.
So if you have it
Appreciate
in
that.
your left palm for me,
Left palm.
and I'm just going to say this, and you can say it as long or as short as you want. I just
Yeah,
let it flow. But I always say, force is the highest good in intention of purity and light. Please, can you make sure our listeners understand that life is meant to be enjoyable? Life is meant to be fun and a journey where you take risks and you do things that scare you, and there's never anything so bad that you can't ever recover from. And I think enjoy the journey, have the fun, and focus on the joys rather than the stresses. And that's what Spirit always say near enough in every reading.
love that.
So this is coming to you. There we go.
Love that.
There we go. Now it's your turn.
Wow. I agree with everything you've just said. But I'd love to say to see the signs, follow your gut, be kind, see, treasure the people that come into your life that treat you well,
Yeah.
and, make the most of the moments that are put in front of you, and keep smiling.
Yay, love it. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much,
Thank
my
you.
darling.
Thank
I've
you.
loved having you.
Oh, I loved
And
it.
I'll
Thank
see you
you.
all very soon, guys.